Here's the test run on the 240 volt rims tube copper. I've been playing around with it here. It seems to be holding pretty good. This amperage voltmeter is really nice, especially the ammeter. It really tells me how much I'm pulling, as well as indicated by every time that light glitters, power goes to the element. And that's my emergency off, so if I want to just check something when it's dry run, I can play with the settings without actually turning on the element. Or if something goes wrong, or you want to stop something quick, you just hit the stop button, and that'll keep power back here, but it will just stop power to the element. So it's trying to run it, but I've got it bypassed with a switch, the stop switch, and it will just shut it off. So when you power up, you just get a reading with your volt amp meter. This is off. This power button here, this toggle switch here, will light up the PDA. This indicates the lights. The power is turning on to the system, and this blinking light indicates activity of the element. Whether it's running or not running, it will still blink. So, but it seems to be holding right to it. I'm running at 14% right now. It's almost up to temp. And right here you can see, I don't know if you can see it on my gauge, my thermometer. I'm right at about 140, right about 149, 150, 149 and a half. I got it set for 152. So I'm going to leave it there for a few more minutes. But it seems to be doing pretty good. It's a learning curve with it. The more it errors, it'll keep correcting its error each time that it goes past or under until it zones in on what you're trying to do. But it pulls it up pretty good. I got my Hermes kettle back here. I took it out of job to test this rims tube. But if you're a more hands-on guy, that's good. You can light up the fires and blow the heat to it. I can also put heat to my mash tun if I want to, but I want to kind of see really how just the rims tube by itself is doing, and it seems to be doing pretty good. So right now we're at 152 is my set value, and it's pretty much there. I got my alarm set, I think, to 149. That's why it's on. But it's right at 150. So it'll slowly bring it up. So I'm going to crank it up here in about 8-10 minutes. It's been mashing here at about 148, 151. I want to do a lot of fundamentals with this because there's not much. This is a wheat beer. There's a lot of wheat in it, and so there's a lot of proteins that don't break down into sugars as easy. I did a protein rest with it at about 125 for about 10 minutes. And we've been doing the 147 to 150 range for about 30 minutes here. And then about 10 minutes, I'm going to crank it up to 180. During that period, it'll be going through the some of the long chain sugars at about 155, 165, and then I'm going to take it up to 180 so I can sparge out for another 8 or 10 minutes. And at that point, I drain it. I do a little bit different than a lot of people I've seen. I'll take and run my pump. I got a brew in a bag, which is really nice. I don't have to worry about stirring up my grain bed or not. I mix it up and stir it up as much as I want. The grain bed is really nice and clear. You can see here, I've been mixing this thing up as much as I want. But I'll show you how clear the mash is here. Real good. Threw in a bag. In my opinion, the only way to go. It's so much easier. And cleanup is easier too because it pulls all the grain out, and I just put it into a big plastic bag after I've drained it out, and dump it or do whatever you want to do with it after that. But once it's done, the wart's done, or the mash is done, I'll take the mash, run it through this pump, and then I'll take this hose or another hose long enough, bring it over to my pot, open up the valves, and it'll drain from there and fill it from the bottom. And at that point then I start boiling, and then while that's boiling I take my grain bag out, let it set to get the drippings from it. In about 10 or 15 minutes I pick up another about a half gallon or so after about 15 minutes once it starts boiling. And that's pretty much it. But the test seems to be doing pretty good. She's holding right at 150, a little tad over, but I got it up to 152, so it will continue to climb just a little bit. You see my amperage popping on and off, 7 to 1, 7 to 1. It's got electronic SSR relay, otherwise you'd end up burning out a manual contactor. It'd be going on and off so many times throughout a session. Probably wouldn't last you 6 months or a year if you brewed it all. But this does it all electronically. And I can't believe how cheap they are. I think the relay, 40 amp relay, and the heat sink was $12. I can't buy a 40 amp regular old-fashioned contactor for a 40 amp for cost about $15. So we'll see how they hold up though. Anyway, that's it. That's the test run with the copper rims, 240 volt system. Signing off.